Hello there. I hope you've had a fantastic week and are prepared for an amazing weekend. What can I say? Life in paradise is pretty nice. Beautiful here. Right now, the sun's behind the clouds, but we've had a sunny morning. We are enjoying typical Costa Rican weather. A little bit more rain lately than we've had before, than we normally have this time of year. But of course, that keeps everything green. And because we have planted probably 400 trees in the last month or so, I'm welcoming the rain. We welcome the rain. Everything is super happy. All the plants are, very, very satisfied with the water they're getting. And it's very cool because I just took a walk 2 hours ago and spent almost an hour in the garden, and we're creating new paths through the forest. We bought the farm next door over here, 27 acres, last year, and we've been planting trees there. You might have seen some of the videos I've posted with shots of some of what we've been planting over there over the last year or so. But we're now actually creating trails that link this side with the other side, and we've created a new bridge that crosses the stream. Actually, 3 bridges that cross the stream. We cross the stream, and we have to cross a smaller stream to go up one side. And the other side, we cross the stream. There's a beautiful walk along the stream, the side of the stream. It's gorgeous. And then another bridge to cross back over to this side to come back up a little further down. And that's all happening. We're in the process right now of putting stone down, gravel down, because it's muddy in there this time of year. So we use gravel to keep it clean and easy to walk and be able to see what's in front of you. And it's very exciting. But on the way back up, the garden, the hillside between the bottom, the forest, and where we are here, we've been planting over the last 5 years, and so our oldest trees are now 5 years old. Now, most fruit trees take 5 or 6 years to fruit. We have a jackfruit tree that has probably 50 tiny jackfruits. Some of them won't make it. That's what happens. But we may get 10. We may wind up with 200, 300 pounds of jackfruit from that one tree. We have a mame sapote, which has its first fruits on it, about 10 or 12 fruits. We have a sapodilla, which has 20 fruits on it. We have a cacao, a different variety. And if you haven't tried cacao, people are used to eating the seed, which is usually cooked, and even if it's not, it contains caffeine and theobromine. But there's fruit. There's not much, but there's a little bit of fruit around the seed, and it's delicious. And we have, I didn't used to like it that much, but I realized over time I've come to like it. So we have several varieties. We have a tree that's about 5 years old, and it now has 10 or 12 fruits on it. That's a lot at one time. These are pretty big fruits. So up until now, we've harvested 1 or 2 from a couple different cacao trees. This one's going to be bearing a lot of fruit this year. We have peanut butter fruit trees with fruit in them. We have a kaimito, which is covered with flowers, which means fruit is coming. We have lots of cool things: Suriname cherries and Nona family members, and my favorite red bananas. We've got 4 or 5 big bunches coming soon. Hopefully, while I'm here, not while I'm out of town. That would be tragic. I've been waiting. I wait all year for these things. They're very slow to fruit. So good to see everybody here. Oh, I'm not sure what's happened there. I just realized we're not. There we are. Okay. So for those of you on Instagram, sorry about that. I thought I was connected. It looked like I just realized we weren't live. So now we are. In the meantime, got a bunch of folks here with us on YouTube. Let's see. Flyer said, oh, you know what? I'm going to start with the 2 super chats. Hello there. Og, Kambutan. Good to see you guys. Quinones. Raveg Seeds. Jadel, good to see you all. So I've got a couple super chats here on YouTube. Let's take a look. First, we have Diane. Hello, Diane. Good to see you. Hey, Diane, I wanted to tell you, I'm you can maybe shoot me a quick message in case I forget. If you are free on Sunday morning, for anybody, I'll let you know. If you're interested in this, you can message me. This is really only for people interested. We can't take thousands of people, but I'm going to be doing a live Zoom call on Sunday morning from 9 until 10:30 for people interested in the Las Cascadas project and intentional vegan and raw vegan communities. There's going to be two communities, a vegan side and a raw vegan side. So if you're interested in learning about that or joining the community, you're going to want to be on that call. If you can, message me, anybody here. You can do it here on, well, probably not YouTube is not the most convenient for me. You can do it on Instagram. You can message me. You can message me, shoot me an email to info@tanglewoodwellnesscenter.com, and we will get that link to you. It's a Zoom call. You'll need the link to be able to get on the call. Okay, just a link. You don't need a password. Just a link will do. All right. So if you message me, if you're interested in the call, I'll get that link to you. All right. If you're just joining us, I was talking about how exciting it is. I walk the garden. It's been so busy. It's not every day. Often by the time I'm ready to take a break, it's raining this time of year in the afternoon. But so I try to get out in the morning, and my mornings have been super, super busy, often with one call after the other for 5 or 6 hours. And this morning I actually scheduled an hour because I had a volunteer that hadn't seen the bottom of the property in a while. And I wanted to, she asked me if I would show her what we're up to there. And so we went down there. I was talking about how we've seen all these, I mean, first of all, the work we're doing there, 3 new bridges that cross the stream, new trails and sitting areas, and a metal roofed structure in the forest where you can sit. It's beautiful. But then on the way back, tons of trees fruiting now and starting to fruit for the first time. That's really, really exciting. So Diane had said, my iron is normal, yet sometimes I hear people having too high iron. What are possible causes of this? Yeah, I mean, there's when the iron is too high, obviously it can happen if someone's eating a diet that's exceptionally high in iron, or eating off of iron skillets, as people used to do, cooking food in iron skillets. But typically, the body should be able to eliminate the excess iron. So when iron is too high, there's an imbalance in the body. And this is not something that most people ever need to worry about. Although, yep, it can happen. So thanks so much, Diane, for your support. I appreciate that. Again, I was thinking of you and wanted to remember to get you this link. So if you're interested, just shoot me a quick message and I'll get that link to you. For anybody interested in the community. All right. Amanda, hello there. Amanda says, what type of water do you recommend? She's made a $10 contribution. Thank you so much, Amanda. What type of water do I recommend? So there's, again, as some of you know about me, I strongly, firmly believe in my experiences. I've done pretty well since I overcame being very, very sick 35 years ago. I haven't been sick a single day. I've now helped more than 15,000 clients achieve amazing levels of health and vitality. I've been coaching people now for 30 years, and 24 and a half plus years now running Tanglewood. And so we see amazing results over and over again. I will guarantee in writing that if you take my coaching, you'll be healthier than you've been in your life. In order to achieve that, you need to be drinking the right water and the right amount of water. Most people, I'm working with a woman today, I'm working with a woman for the last 33 days, remote process. She is severely dehydrated, and it's caused lots of issues for her. She's been fasting with me, but she started off severely dehydrated. And she said, I've been raw vegan for 7 years. 7 years raw vegan, severely dehydrated. I see that all the time. So many raw vegans are so mistaken, thinking, well, I'm eating a high water content diet, so therefore I don't need to drink water. That is not true. It doesn't work. Okay, it just doesn't work. It's not good or bad. It just doesn't work. It's not effective. And the reason it's not effective is because until you clean out the old hard material, which her body is now attempting to do, until you clean that stuff out, it's acting like a giant sponge. It's absorbing the water coming into your body, so you never get fully hydrated. And we see this over and over and over again. I've got, some of you may know, especially on Instagram, Jeff Juices, who has been using juice fasting and raw foods to try to heal for many years. Finally decided he would come and try fasting with me. He said publicly, he was afraid of it. He put it off because he knew it was right, but he was just afraid of it. He finally fasted with me. Very, very thin guy. He did 21 days and left here telling me, I feel better than ever. We see the same. There's another guy leaving today who fasted for 42 days, who very lean guy, and he's completed his process and is leaving us now. But another guy who'd done a lot of juices, already eating raw food, severely dehydrated. So in order to hydrate, you want to be drinking the optimal water. That's going to be nature's perfect spring waters. Okay, we can't do better than that. Okay, nature's perfect spring water is the best we can do. All right, it has to be clean. Of course, the fact that it's spring water that comes out of the ground doesn't mean that it's clean. So you can buy bottled spring water that may not be okay to drink. In order to bottle it, it has to meet the same standards as water coming out of your tap. At least in the US, doesn't have to be any better than that. It has to come out of the ground if they call it spring water, but it has to meet those same government standards. It doesn't have to be superior drinking water. It just has to be good enough to meet tap water standards. That's not really that high, a benchmark to have to meet. You want to do much better than that. One of the reasons that we're on this site, one of the reasons I bought this property, is because we have ample, perfect water. Costa Rica is known for its amazing water, and the water bubbling up out of the ground here is incredible. Notwithstanding the fact that some crazy woman years ago published that our water is acidic. No, it isn't. I don't think she knew how to use her meter, assuming that she actually measured it. We have it professionally measured all the time, tested all the time to make sure that, because it's a spring, if an animal died or something, we want to know if it was polluting the water. So we have it tested regularly, and it's clear. It's perfectly clear. There's you don't see any stuff in it. It tastes like water should. It has no real flavor. It tastes good, and it's amazing. That's the best there is clean spring water. And personally, I probably would never live anywhere else again where I couldn't get clean water and grow my own food. I mean, one of the reasons for being here, aside from the climate, for me, my body wants sunshine and wants to be able to breathe. I don't want to be wearing heavy clothes all the time. Most of the time I'm in shorts and flip-flops and t-shirts, short sleeve shirts, and that's tropical. Here 365 days a year we can pick fruit from our plants. And I mean, now practically right around, I've actually lost count, but it's right around 200 varieties of fruit growing on site. Okay, can't do that anywhere else. Okay, there's nowhere else on the planet that you can do that. So thanks for being with me here. If you guys are joining me here on Instagram, I'm glad to see you. I appreciate your being here. I mentioned if you're just joining, some of you, again, for me, there's nowhere else I'd ever live except a tropical location, because that's what supports our health. We need vitamin D from sunlight, not from some artificially produced crap made in a laboratory added into your food. We need real nutrients from food and from sunshine. And so for me, it's always, always going to be living in the tropics. I've never found a more beautiful place, friendlier people than there are right here in Costa Rica. We've created something truly, truly magnificent. It's beautiful here. It's amazing. The climate is perfect. I've been at this elevation for 16 years because I realized this is where to be. It doesn't get too hot, very, very rarely. And it's rarely ever too cold. I mean, it doesn't get cold at all. It may feel a little cool, but it's practically perfect climate. We can grow food here every single day of the year. We can pick fresh food. The people are amazing. And with Las Cascadas, we have this incredible project we're creating where there will be a huge nature preserve, 17 or 18. We don't even know. I found a new waterfall I wasn't aware of. We hadn't counted just about a month ago. Someone showed it to me. 100 meters high. We didn't even know it existed. We've got about 18 that we're aware of, including small ones. Somewhere like that, 17, 18, I'm not sure. And there may be more. There may be more. We're looking at what will be a probably multi-thousand acre nature preserve, where there'll be 100 and plus acres of organic fruit trees, permaculture based. That's, we've got space there for 40, 50,000 fruiting plants. It's incredible. And if you're interested in that, in learning about our project and maybe how you can join us, because this is a place you could live. You can live with nature. One of the questions people always ask is, how am I supposed to make a living? Well, we've got that covered. Okay, because we're building this amazing nature preserve, it'll be spectacularly beautiful like everything else I do. I don't believe in living without beauty, so everything I build is beautiful. And the nature preserve has its natural beauty, but you're going to get out of your car and go, oh my God, this parking lot is beautiful. That's the way we're going to do everything. There's going to be this amazing fruit farm. There'll be tours, there'll be an organic market, there'll be a little commercial village with shops and boutiques and galleries and a spa, etc. We're going to be attracting a lot of tourists, a world-class botanical garden, and all these things will attract all these tourists. There'll also be schools, a retreat center, again, bringing people onto the site. And as a community member, you have the ability to run your own business, okay? You could run the juice bar, you could run the ice cream shop, you could run, let's say you cut hair, you could run a salon. If you're a massage therapist, you could run your own business. We're going to create a place where you can share the space. You don't have to have, let's say you don't want to work full time or don't need to, or don't, that's just not what you want to do. Great. You could share in the space, and we'll work out a way that's equitable, so several therapists can share a space and have their own little center. That's going to be it's going to be easy to generate a living wage here, living in paradise. Where can you do that? You can't do that at most of these communities, raw vegan communities, where you're in the middle of nowhere. There's no way to earn income. I mean, you could work online, of course, anywhere, but we're going to make it really easy for you to run a business that caters to tourists. We're going to help you do that. Okay? King of Progression is here with a $4.99 contribution. Thank you, sir. And says, hello, Loren, I'm dealing with tendinitis in the front of my left foot, and it's quite painful. Would a short water fast be beneficial to my healing? Yes, it probably would, although a longer water fast would be more beneficial. You should probably plan on doing at least 21 days to see, because there's a reason that this happens. Okay, so you might see the symptoms eliminated in a week, but the problem is you probably won't have enough time in a week to eliminate the underlying cause. So much of what happens out there is about dealing with symptoms, but real health is much deeper than that. It's far beyond that. Okay, so yep, eliminating the symptoms makes you feel better sooner than later, now. But if you want to really be healthy and get to the point where you don't have tendinitis come back again, you have to deal with the underlying cause. That's going to take around 21 days. I can guide you remotely. It's an amazing experience. Okay, we have a whole program now where there's a daily group call. It's an hour-long call. And so you've got a supportive community of what's happening with you, but what's happening with everyone. Get a much fuller education that way. There's time calls for education from me, and we send you an email with a video every single day. So you're getting a real inspired and educated, so that when you're done, you will know exactly how to take your health to the highest level possible, or how to maintain what you've already created. Okay, then there's a written plan that you get and a follow-up call 6 weeks out. And all of this is designed to ensure that you get amazing results. You will, if you can follow my simple coaching, that's what happens. But that would be my advice. My advice would be to do at least 21 days, because it takes 10 to 11 days to get to the deepest part of the process. So again, you could probably eliminate the symptoms in less time, but you wouldn't be creating the real high level of health that ensures you don't have any problems anymore. Okay. I mean, again, my body actually works better physically at 60 than it did at 18. You can accomplish exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Let's see. I want sun and fruits always. Exactly. That's what we need. It's not just want, it's what we need. I mean, they're in places like the UK, in Seattle, in Portland, you know, in the northwest of the US, the vast majority of people are vitamin D deficient. Okay, they need to take supplements, and supplements are not the way to do this, not ever. We need vitamin D from sunlight. We need fresh foods. It's incredible the difference. Okay, when you're here and we're eating foods that have been off the plant, usually no more than a week, it's completely different than when we are eating things that were picked, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago to ship them to us. Picked too soon. They never ripen properly. They never have the same vitality. Okay, it makes a world of difference in terms of how you feel and function, how well the noggin works, how well everything functions. It's amazing. How your emotional poise. Everything depends on the level of nutrition and the cleanliness of your body and hydration level of your body. Critically important. Okay, take a sip. If you haven't been sipping, make sure you're getting some sips in. All right, this is what actually works. This is what's important. There are lots of philosophies, lots of ideas out there. Okay, do they work? Well, let me just say this. In the nearly 25 years I've run Tanglewood and worked with many thousands of people, I work with a lot of gurus. I work with a lot of therapists. I work with a lot of alternative practitioners. I work with a lot of detox specialists. And guess what? They're all toxic. They're all dehydrated, almost without exception, until you do this one thing. This is the only way to get all the garbage out of your body. Okay, it's not dry fasting, because that only makes you more dehydrated. And again, I hope that's obvious. I hope that's clear, right? There's a whole bunch of hype with zero science or fact to support it. I mean, honestly, people, if dry fasting was more beneficial, more powerful in any way, that's what we'd be doing here. Because my only commitment is to helping people, including myself, to heal as well as possible. I've dry fasted 3 times for 4 days each. But it's not in any way, not even a tiny bit better. It's far less powerful than fasting with water. The only thing that happens is you're suppressing symptoms, because as your body gets dehydrated, it cannot cleanse and heal. It cannot cleanse and heal. All right, I see a comment here from Vere Natural, who says, would you recommend the remote fasting for someone suffering from anxiety, panic attacks, or will it be difficult to handle this alone at home? Well, honestly, it's a great question. People at home with all kinds of conditions can handle the remote fasting, but I mean, certainly for some people, you know, some people might have anxiety traveling and being here, you know, being in a new place, but usually within a week, maybe much less, but within a week at the most, almost everybody feels much more comfortable, much more peaceful, much more tranquil. And so for anyone that can get here, it's always better here. You're in the perfect environment, perfect climate. You've got a whole community around you. There's an hour every day of live education. The food is mind-blowing when it comes time to refeed. It's, you know, the quality is incredible. I'm eating the same food I'm feeding you. You know, we have one larder, one place where all the food is stored. My housekeeping staff goes and feeds the guests from that 4 times a day, 5 times a day. I'm coming out of there twice a day. Okay, they have access to it before I do. If you can get here, it would be better to do it here. If you can't get here for whatever reason, because of economic reasons, because you're locked down and can't travel, because you're a single parent and, you know, need to be home with your children, okay, you know, the remote fasting program is for you. I created it because I wanted to be able to offer as close as possible to the same experience for those people who can't get here. And I've stayed busy with clients online for years now, 14 plus years, without missing a day. I have calls every day with clients. It's a great program, and it's better than ever now. We created this new program over the last year or so, and it's amazing. We're still working out some of the bugs in terms of how the programming works that sends you the information. But the actual program is amazing. People love it. Really, really powerful and empowering. But if you can get here, I would definitely come here. Okay? All right. Natasha Sarafihanovich Jukic. And I apologize. I probably murderated your name. Sorry about that. It's obviously you are from Eastern Europe somewhere. I'm guessing it sounds sort of from one of the former Yugoslavia places, Slovenia, Slovakia, Serbia. It's one of those types of names, and I don't pronounce them all that well, I'm sure. So sorry about that. Natasha asks, what do you think of UV light lamp for getting vitamin D during winter in Europe? Doesn't work very well. Lamps, unfortunately, do not fully reproduce the full spectrum of light from sunlight. I don't know what it is with this chair. I always feel like I'm sliding forward. Maybe I need to get Velcro pants that stick to the seat. I don't know what it is. I don't think the seats, my pants are all that slippery, but that's what happens. So yeah, it's unfortunately the science is actually really clear. It's not the same thing as CHF. That should be a clue. What is that? Yeah, I'm not sure. It's not the same. So there's no better way. I mean, if you're in Europe, and the same. So there's no better way. I mean, if you're in Europe and you don't have anything else, then yeah, you can use a UVB lamp. You can, because as Natasha's aware, and some of you may not be, vitamin D comes from UVB rays. That's the same rays that burn the skin. It's those UV rays that which means, you know, when I was a kid, we were told no sun, stay out of the direct sun between 10 and 2 or even 10 and 3. We actually need to get sunlight when the sun is the highest because that's how we get our vitamin D. We don't want to overdo it. Okay, that's sun damage from too much, and I love to body surf, and that means my head is unprotected. I've tried wearing a bathing cap. It's not that comfortable for me. So I've been sunburned way too many times here in the tropics in 16 years. Okay. Yeah, so, you know, you can use what you need to, but ultimately there's nothing like sunlight. And that means if you're going to be in Europe, what I would do is I would say get down to Southern Europe or out to the Canary Islands or Africa, someplace where you can get ample sunlight in those months where there isn't enough wherever you live. Ultimately, Las Cascadas, baby. Come join us here in paradise. Help us create a real tribe. You know, the idea is to create a group of people who choose to be a family, choose to live together, support each other in maximizing our potential, manifest everything that we're capable of. I truly believe every single person here is genius. I'm answering your question, Adam. Spiritual beliefs, we're all part of that divine creative energy of the universe. We're creating our reality every moment. Okay, I've been working with someone who's unbelievably negative. All I hear her say is, I can't. It's I can't. It's always this sort of an attitude and response. And she said, well, how could I be happy? How could I be happy? I lost my job. I'm like, no, you need to be happy regardless of the circumstances. Joy comes from within, okay? I wake up in the morning and realize, hey, I'm awake. I made it through the night. I'm breathing. I'm happy. I'm joyful. I'm grateful for this life. I'm grateful to have, you can't see. Oh, you can, yeah, there you can just see it. There's Chad, one of my 7 cats. I'm grateful for the pets that I love. I'm grateful for the amazing people around me. I'm grateful for the flowers and the fruit and the trees and the ocean. I was at the ocean day before yesterday. Life is amazing. It's amazing. And I feel happy and joyful and alive and grateful even when I've been in terrible pain. When I broke my hip falling 10 feet onto concrete off the top of a wall, broke my hip and couldn't sleep for 4 nights because of the pain, I was joyful. I was in pain, but happy to be alive, happy to feel pain, because the alternative, I could have killed me, right? It's all about how we approach things. So I believe we're all connected because we're all part of this divine creative energy. I truly believe we're creating everything. There's no such thing as a bad thing. It's all how we interact with it. Okay. And this is why I'm positive and happy most of the time. Most of the time. I mean, that's where I live my life, from that place. People say to me sometimes, "Oh, it's amazing what you've created here." I'm like, it's not amazing. It's just, first of all, I was telling this client who says, I can't every day. I can't. I mean, like 10 times, on an hour-long call. She'll, I can't do that. I can't do this. You're never going to hear me say that. Okay. You're going to hear me say, I don't want to, or I don't know how to. But successful people don't say, I can't. Successful people say, how can I? How can I? Because this is like an incredible supercomputer. So every day, right, all the time, it's processing all the time. So if we keep saying, I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't, it's taking them and going, okay, you can't. There you go. There you go, no problem. But as soon as we say, how can I? And we pose that question, this thing starts to turn until we get an answer. How can I? We find a way. There's always a way, right? When someone says to me, I can't do that, my response is usually something like, well, I think what you're telling me is it's not important enough to you right now. Okay, because when it's important enough, guess what happens? You figure out how. It's been said, those with a strong enough why figure out how. Okay, so we'll spend a whole nother, maybe next week, we'll spend the whole time on this subject because it's so critically important. Okay, I mean, it's, when someone is negative, I mean, it doesn't, they could win the lottery tomorrow. They'd still be miserable soon because they're creating their life from victim consciousness. Okay, there's no such thing. I mean, only if you make it happen, right? That's not our reality. We're not victims. We are creating what happens. Sometimes we don't understand why. Sometimes I create ugliness and don't understand why. But there's always a reason why. Okay, we're going to come back to this subject. Anyway, I hope that helps. Adam, thanks so much for your support. All right. Krasimir is here. Hello there, sir. I hope you're doing well. He's made a 10 Bulgarian contribution. I don't remember what your money's called. That's okay. Is it okay to peel tomato? I see people all the time eating optimally who have issues, but it's not because there's a lack of the nutrients they need. It's because their bodies aren't working properly. Once your body works properly, getting enough nutrients is a no-brainer. You never, ever have to worry about this. And so in 35 years vegan, and almost 30 years in November, it'll be 30 years raw vegan, I've never taken B12. In fact, it's now been 29 years roughly since I've taken any supplements whatsoever. Anything. Okay, I don't take anything at all. There's no reason to. We can get everything we need from the food we eat and from sunlight if we live in a place where we should be living. If you don't have sunlight, you might want to reconsider where you. I personally would, as beautiful as it may be in these places, if you can't get your needs met, it's going to be really hard to be as healthy as possible living in those places because it's never the same with supplements. Never the same. Okay? All right, I've got a comment here on Instagram. I'm going to respond to, where was that? Cowboy Swimmer says, does anyone know if there's an alternative way to get to Costa Rica without a passport? The U.S. passport renewal services here are ridiculously backed up. I can imagine a lot of people wanting to get out of the U.S. Yeah, if you hold a U.S. passport, you might want to go ahead and get it renewed as soon as possible if you need to do that, so that you can get out of there with a moment's notice, should you need to. Yes, I'm sure there are probably ways to get into the country, to sneak into the country. I don't know that it's easy. And of course, once you're here, it's going to be hard to do anything without a passport. Like I need to show my passport, at the bank and to do anything official. So I would work on getting that as quickly as possible. There are passport expedition, they can expedite the passport for you. That's one way to do it. If you have a flight booked, they will expedite it for you if possible. So you might want to get a changeable flight and then go to get an appointment as soon as you can to one of these places and tell them, hey, I've got to fly next week. Okay. I once got a passport renewed. Now I realize it was different times. The last time I had a renewal, I did it in the US. The last time I had a renewal, I did it in the US, and I got my passport 3 hours later. Actually, the last renewal I did right here at the US Embassy in San Jose, Costa Rica, back in 2020. But prior to that, in 2010, I was in Connecticut, and I got my passport. I showed them my flights, and they said, okay, come back in 3 hours or 4 hours, whatever it was. And they had my new passport ready for me. They can do it quickly if they have some reason to. All right. Let's see. So welcome, everybody. Again, if you're joining me here on Instagram, glad to see you. I hope you're doing fantastically well. All right. Let me go back over here because we have another super chat here from Alexis De Prato, who has made a €4.99 contribution. Said, hello, Loren. What do you think of hypnosis to treat stress and general anxiety? And what do you think of psychiatry to do the same? Thanks. I think hypnosis can be a very powerful and useful tool. Can be very powerful. It can be very useful when it's used correctly in the right hands. Okay, absolutely, no question about it. It's been proven to help people because, again, what we're talking about is beliefs. It's about belief systems, about how we look at things. That can be shifted with hypnosis, and so it can be very useful. Psychiatry, on the other hand, psychiatrists pretty much don't do anything anymore except prescribe medications. Psychiatric medications are like all medications. They're toxic and they just suppress symptoms. I would personally probably never, ever take them. Now, I realize there may be people going, hang on, I need those drugs to survive. Okay, no argument. But in the meantime, not only are they not healing you, they're making your body more toxic. They're more toxic. I just use a trimmer. You can see, you can probably see, I have hair here. People have asked me if I'm bald. I have hair. I keep it super short. I have a lot less back here, but I do have hair, plenty here and plenty on the sides. It would get quite long if I let it, but I don't like it that way anymore. I used to. I had a ponytail 30 years ago. Nowadays, I prefer to keep it very, very short. It just feels better to me. But I just trimmed it, and so now it feels a little bit like a porcupine. I like the feel of it, actually. It kind of feels cool, so that's why I wind up rubbing my hands back here. If you come to Tanglewood, I'll let you do the same thing, okay? All right, let's see. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. It's psychiatry is scary stuff. Psychiatric medications are really powerfully toxic in most cases and do a lot of damage to people. I think they're making people much worse. They might be suppressing specific symptoms and maybe allowing people to live a more or less normal life, but at what cost? I would personally not. What I would do is I would fast. Now, there's a good example. Let's say someone is dealing with something where they can be very unstable, imbalanced, and potentially dangerous to themselves or other people. We can't take them here under those circumstances. With this shirt, it's always a little crooked. We can't really take them. We're not set up for that kind of thing. We're not like a full-time psychiatric nursing facility. So if you're dealing with that kind of situation, the best thing you could do would be to fast, because fasting balances the brain chemistry as it balances the body. Same thing. There's actually a study that shows that with schizophrenic patients, and schizophrenia is a pretty severe or can be a very severe psychiatric condition. Fasting helped some 85 or 87%, I think, of the patients that were fasted experienced a dramatic improvement in their condition, schizophrenic condition, as a result of fasting. And so there's a good example of where remote fasting would make sense. You could stay home and have a family member, someone who can be there for you, who knows how to deal with it when you have, let's say, for instance, someone has schizophrenic episodes. They have someone has experienced that and knows what to do. We can't really have someone like that, potentially harming themselves or other people here. So there's an example of where the remote fasting is perfect. I can work with them, see them every day, but someone at home can help make sure that they're safe and don't get themselves into trouble. Why isn't this advice out there in the mainstream? Well, the reason why is because pharmaceutical companies are some of the wealthiest companies in the world, and have been for a long time. I mean, now there are high-tech businesses that are more lucrative, but the pharmaceutical companies do billions of dollars a year in sales. The biggest companies do like hundreds of billions of dollars in sales now, if I'm not mistaken. And so they're very profitable. They do not want people to be healthy. They don't want healthy people. I don't buy drugs. I haven't bought drugs. I haven't been vaccinated in 35 years. I don't buy drugs of any kind, anything. There's no aspirin here, nothing, because those toxic substances only suppress symptoms. So I know if there's a problem, I need to look, what did I eat? Okay, did I get enough sleep? Did I get too much sunshine? What happened? How did I do in terms of meeting my body's needs? Because that's what determines whether we're healthy or not. Okay, drugs have nothing to do with health, all about suppressing symptoms. I have no intention of ever taking drugs again. Okay, not ever, under any circumstance, if I can avoid it. I mean, obviously, I understand there may be times where someone actually needs to take something short term, but I would never take anything again if I didn't absolutely need to take it. But this information is not out there. It's actively suppressed because there are businesses that don't want you to know what I know and don't want you to find out. And they don't want anyone to be doing what we're doing. They want people to make conventional choices and get sick and stay hooked on their substances so they continue to rake in as much money as possible. Okay, I'm not contributing a penny to these companies, and you shouldn't either. Okay, but you have to actually get healthy to be able to do that. What causes severe allergies, and can we reverse them? Absolutely. What causes severe allergies is an immune system that's pushed to the brink, okay, because the body's toxic and the body's dehydrated, etc. And so it can't handle what should be a minor threat, becomes like a major attack, and your body responds as if it's in serious danger where it shouldn't be. I had 57 allergies. I was diagnosed with 57 allergies in my 20s. I am now allergic to nothing. Okay, I have no problem with anything, not dust, pollen, mold. There were fruits I couldn't eat before. Imagine that. There's no fruit I can't eat now. Okay, you can absolutely heal by giving your body a chance to get the garbage out, get hydrated, begin working properly. And then when you encounter toxins, your body says, no problem, I can deal with this. I got this. That's what happens. Okay, you can absolutely do it, and I can help you because I've helped many people through this. Again, this is when we come here or remote fasting. It's up to you. You can absolutely eliminate those allergies if you choose to. All right. Alexis DePrato has made another contribution, 499 euros, and said, do you believe in reincarnation? I do. I do believe in reincarnation. I've seen lots of evidence that reincarnation is indeed very real. I believe that we probably live hundreds of lifetimes. I believe this body is not me. Okay, we are souls. We are inanimate, and we're animate, but we're not. We're not concrete. We're not physical organisms. We're having a physical experience. We're inhabiting these bodies. To me, the body is like a vehicle. Eventually, it will wear out, and I will discard it and get another one. And it won't be tragic when that happens. Okay, it won't be a tragedy. To me, it won't be a tragedy if it happens tomorrow or the next. I know you'll miss me. Don't tell me you won't miss me, right? But you know, I believe we live forever, and so it's not. You know, you lose a body and you get another one. It's like changing cars. It's not tragic. Okay, I had a car this past year. The company bought me a new car. My car was 30 years old. We were constantly we still have it. It actually had so little value, it didn't make sense to sell it. I have a staff member that uses it to run errands for the center. But I was tired of driving something that just didn't work the way I was used to and wanted it to. And so, you know, no tragedy, right? It's no tragedy that I'm now in a different vehicle. It won't be a tragedy when I change this vehicle out for another one as well. Okay, same thing. All right. In the meantime, I am completely dedicated, right? I've been here almost every single week, almost every single Friday now for like 5 years. And I'm completely committed to continuing to share as much information as possible. That's why the YouTube videos, that's why the Instagram posts, that's why everything we're doing, the Academy for Vibrant Living. You know, if you're here and you're getting some gems, if you're finding this valuable, first of all, if you're finding this valuable, how about giving it a like on Instagram? How about giving it a thumbs up over here on YouTube? Okay, I'm so happy to share this information. I truly appreciate those of you that are willing to help support this financially, because honestly, it's not so easy here. I mean, people think our prices are crazy. Did you know you go to Hippocrates and you can pay for 1 week what someone pays to be here for 4 or 5 weeks? Okay. And when we were in the US, we were the only center that used 100% organic produce. Here, we can't guarantee everything's certified organic. There's just not that much of it. Of course, we're moving towards growing, producing everything ourselves. So eventually we will be able to say everything's organic because we'll have produced it. It may not be certified, but it will be organic. Okay. But if you're liking the content, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, consider sharing it. Okay. Consider sharing a link on your pages because other people need to know this. Someone said, how come this information is not out there? Well, I mean, I don't know why everyone here, you know, if you think this is valuable, why not share it on your own pages? Are you embarrassed, ashamed of me? I know some people think this is all insanity, but it's a simple fact. Healing is a biological process. Only the organism can heal the organism. Cleansing is a biological process, right? All these detox experts are, you know, pushing herbs, right? Herbs don't heal your body. They're toxic substances. Okay, maybe you've had a good experience with them. That's fine. That's fine. You're going to feel better because they're going to allow you to suppress symptoms. Remember, the first pharmaceuticals came from herbs. Always toxic because the herb was toxic. Okay, they still are. An herbalist will say to you, you can use this quantity, but only this number of times in a row, only this dosage. Why is that? Has anyone ever said don't eat more than 5 apples at a time? Don't have more than 3 pounds of watermelon? No, not at all. Those things aren't toxic to us. Okay, herbs are. Nothing heals your body except your body. There's no magic processes out there. Okay, dry fasting, your cells don't magically turn into incinerators. That's nonsense. It's nonsense. What happens is your dehydrated body cannot detoxify because it needs water. And so you feel better because you shut off the detox process. Every time we get someone here who's been dry fasting, they are severely dehydrated. They're the most dehydrated people here every single session. The second most dehydrated people are usually the fruitarians who don't drink water, thinking I'm getting all my water from my food. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. Not until you clean all the garbage out. Once you get your body clean, yeah, then you need very little water. I still drink water, not much. I sip a little bit of water. I mean, I've been speaking now. It's nearly 10 o'clock. I'll have to get off shortly because I have a group call at 10 o'clock with clients who are fasting with me. But my first call this morning was at 5:30. I've been on calls nonstop. I had 1 hour break where I showed some volunteers the grounds, what we're doing, the latest projects that they hadn't had a chance to see. But I'm speaking hours every morning. That's why I'll sip a little bit of water. Okay, but I'm getting most of my real hydration. I mean, most people need 3 or 4 liters a day. I don't drink 3 or 4 liters in a week. Okay, And once your body's clean and hydrated, you won't need to either. Now, it's funny. I mean, there are people out there my age who will tell you, detractors, but look at their faces. Look at all the lines they have on their faces. Those wrinkles are dehydration. And dehydration is the most important aspect of health. Your body cannot be as healthy as possible if you're not fully hydrated. It doesn't happen. All right, I'm going to come back over here to Instagram and respond to some questions here. Let's see, where were we? Okay, and so Grace says, and most people are victim-minded, not only, and they love to find somebody telling them there's something that, here is something, then getting advice of don't do anything but eat nothing that doesn't feel settling to anyone. Telling them here's something, then getting advice of don't do anything but eat nothing that doesn't seem settling. Yeah, it may not feel settling to people. I mean, I get it. It sounds crazy to most people. Well, hang on, don't eat for a month? It's going to make me better? Yeah, it does. Because our self-healing bodies need the energy. When we are processing food, we're using most of our energy to process food through the body. When we stop eating, when we fast, if we do this properly and long enough, what happens is the body has energy to cleanse and heal in a way it cannot do if we're eating. This is why every animal on the planet stops eating when it's sick enough or badly enough injured. This is why Hippocrates said, right, not the guy in Florida, the guy from Greece many, many years ago, the first Western doctor who said, let your food be your medicine and your medicine your food. But his next words were, but to feed yourself when you're already sick is to feed your sickness. Okay, he fasted his patients because fasting is what actually allows the organism to heal. This is why medical schools used to teach fasting. That changed 100+ years ago when John D. Rockefeller, the world's first billionaire, began investing in pharmaceuticals and wanted to be sure that the pharmaceutical companies made the big money. Not going to happen if there's an easy, safe, natural way to heal the body. Why would people take these toxic substances? Now people are so used to taking toxic substances, it's completely turned on its head. They think, well, that's normal, and this is crazy. No, taking toxic substances is crazy. People take drugs. Maybe you take drugs. I ask people all the time, what's in that? I don't know. Really? You're putting these toxic, you don't even know what it is. No, I personally, no thanks. People think it's radical. I remember once, years ago, I met a woman who wasn't working. I said to her, how come you're not working? She wasn't working. She was a young woman. How come you're not working? She said, well, I'm waiting for a kidney transplant. I said, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I said, there's something else you might want to try doing. What is it? I've tried everything. I've looked at everything. I said, no, maybe not. This is fasting, resting and fasting for a while. She said, oh, no, I wouldn't do that. That's too radical. I said, oh, hang on. So you're saying that resting in bed and living on the fat reserves that you have so that you can survive without eating, that's what they're for, that's radical. But letting them cut you open, take your kidney out, shove somebody else's kidney in your body, that's not radical. Statistically, that woman's been dead for 20 years. This conversation happened almost 30 years ago. I wasn't running a fasting center. I wasn't telling her to fast because I was trying to make money. Okay, I mean, we stay full here. If you hear me telling you should fast, it's not because I need your money. It's because it's what works. If I tell you should fast with me, it's because what we do, we have 2 people here now who fasted at True North in California last year. They did not get the results they wanted. They are getting the results they wanted here. So what happens every time? Because what we do is far superior to what they do. What they do is basically medicine. It's a clinic. It's still, you've got doctors overseeing who don't understand health. Oh, your blood pressure is too low, too high, your pulse, your blood sugar, your fast is over. That's what needs to happen when the body is healing itself. Okay? That's what needs to happen. You have to understand who you can trust and who not. Okay, someone's asking me here, Lamados, oh, I know you. Hello there. Loren, have you ever felt threatened about all the info you deliver and they don't want you to deliver? No. I mean, honestly, when I decided to open Tanglewood, I realized that I might wind up in jail or even killed at some point. And you know what? As I said a few minutes ago, I'm not my body. My body, you know, I'm going to live forever. My body isn't. And if, you know, if someone decides at some point to kill me, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I've never felt threatened by the system. I've had people threaten me. I've had people tell me they were going to come and kick my ass or kill me. I had someone tell me recently, actually, we had a client here last session, and her mother pretended to be her father and sent me messages saying, if anything happens to my daughter, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to have you killed, is what she said. I checked prices. It's not even that expensive. I wrote back and said, you are a sick person and you need to get yourself some help. Okay? Your daughter's going to be fine. But whatever happens, she's an adult who's making her own choices. Okay? But get yourself some help because you need help. Okay? I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned at all. And I choose not to live from a place of fear. I never will. All right? Gary says, hi, Loren. I just started watching your content and I'm learning so much already. Some mind-blowing concepts that make so much sense. Well, thanks, Gary. I'm really glad you're here. You know, I guarantee results. I guarantee results. Okay, if you're willing and open, if you're willing to take coaching, you're willing to do what I'm telling you to do, I guarantee you're going to complete feeling and functioning better than ever. It doesn't fail. It doesn't fail. Okay, my body literally works better today at 60 than it did when I was 18. I haven't been sick a day in 35 years. I was the sickest person I knew. I stay fit and strong with very little effort because when the body works properly, I mean, this cat spends 18 hours a day resting, and yet he can jump, 6 feet in the air, right? I mean, how do they maintain this amazing strength? It's not from a lot of exercise. It's from living in a body that works properly. Folks, I've got to go. I realize I'm late for my call. I hope you have a fantastic week and weekend. Again, thanks so much for your support. I will be here next Friday at the same time. I hope you will too. I hope you'll share this content. I hope you'll like it and share it. And Academy for Vibrant Living, you're ready to take your health to an amazing level? Check out academyforvibrantliving.com, where I teach two whole courses that are unconditionally guaranteed. We've had amazing feedback from our students. All right, guys, got to go. Have a great weekend. I'll look forward to seeing you sometime soon. Remember, if you're interested in finding out about living in our community here or supporting the project, send me a message on Instagram, on email, info@tanglewoodwellnesscenter.com, and let me know. And Sunday morning at 9 o'clock Costa Rica time, there's a 90-minute Zoom call. You're welcome, but you have to message me to get the access code. It's for people that are serious. Okay, if you're serious about the community, feel free to join the call. We'd welcome you there, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.